Hi, my name is Amy Hinsman. I'm the board chair of the Leo Augusta Children's Academy.
And I'm Doug Anderson, the director at the Academy.
Thank you for joining us today. Doug and I have taken you on a lot of tours over the last several weeks. And today we really wanted to talk about the educational piece of the Academy, as well as the economic impact of Blooming Prairie and surrounding areas. So I think we'll just kind of get started, and I thought I'd start with you, Doug, and you can kind of talk a little historically about centers and the nationwide issue. It's not just a Blooming Prairie issue when we looked at statistics and numbers. It's truly nationwide, which is statewide, which trickle back to us. So why don't you tell us what you know, Doug?
You're absolutely correct. And according to a Mid-Post article dated February of 2021, even before COVID became a challenge for families, Greater Minnesota was short 40,000 childcare slots. But even looking ahead to a hopeful post-pandemic future, the barrier of economic recovery still remains. And a significant part of that is the dire or the lack of available childcare. In the childcare world, we rely a lot on First Children's Finance. And according to them, back in June of 2020, the shortage of childcare impacts communities of all sizes and all corners of our state. In Austin alone, an estimated 700 additional childcare spots were needed. The pandemic has also caused an increased upheaval in an industry that continues to be unstable, and childcare providers were faced with major income losses as families had to make decisions about pulling their child from childcare, or due to parents who lost jobs or had a change in their work environment. Their costs increased in order to be able to provide that service, and they were asked to adhere to new public health guidelines. As our communities attempt to reopen and we attempt to return to normal amidst a struggling economy, addressing the childcare crisis that we have right now is vital. Workers cannot rejoin the workforce unless they have safe and reliable childcare. So our community of Blooming Prairie and our surrounding communities cannot attract new businesses and families unless we have a strong, supportive childcare system in place. And the childcare crisis is a multi-layered problem. Childcare workers endure very long hours, often for low wages and at times no benefits. And in Greater Minnesota, it's not uncommon for someone to work at a local convenience store and probably earn more than a childcare worker. The Leo Augusta Children's Academy is working to alleviate the childcare issue that we have and also the concerns that are felt by families in our area. Our academy will provide care and education to 144 children in the Blooming Prairie and surrounding area. We will pay a market wage to assist in attracting highly qualified individuals who have a desire and also a passion to work with children. We plan to employ roughly 25 individuals at the Academy who will become consumers in the Blooming Prairie area and economy. Each teacher's resignation, each coronavirus exposure, and daycare closure reveal an industry on the brink that has wide-reaching implications for an entire economy's workforce. Economist Betsy Stevenson at the University of Michigan shared that the decision that we make about the availability of childcare today will shape the U.S. for decades to come by influencing who returns to work, what types of jobs parents take, and the career path that they choose to follow. The Leo Augusta Children's Academy is working to be a part of the solution for our families here in Blooming Prairie and its economy.
You know, it's interesting. I've worked in the finance and business industry for over 20 years. Doug has worked in education for several years, 20 plus years as well. And I can tell you firsthand from a business perspective, we see this every day with our employees. And we're in rural Minnesota, and so the impact, I think, is even more so. We're not just 10 minutes away from our daycare provider. And all of that affects the economy and our employees, because our employees are struggling. They just want to work a full workday. That's what our employees want. And so the struggle is real. And I think since I've joined this project and become a part of this project and have done a substantial amount of research, I guess I was kind of blind and deaf to the fact that it truly is an entire United States problem. So Doug had alluded to a few minutes ago the economic impact. We're going to have 20 to 25 jobs. And I'm not talking about just jobs that are following the national average of childcare. If you look at the national average, it's almost demeaning to that profession, where you can go work at a convenience store for more per hour. And these individuals are caring for our children. They're caring for our future. And so our goal and our initiative and what's driving us is we will be paying market rates. We're not going to ask staff to work for poverty levels and call it good. That's why we're different than other centers. And we want to lead that charge into that difference, and we want everybody to be behind us. It's amazing when you look at the differences to pay market rates to our staff. If we compared that market rate to what a typical center would pay their staff, we will have a tax base increase in the Blooming Prairie and surrounding area of $460,000. Now, what's even more drastic is, well, the Leo Augusta Children's Academy doesn't exist. It didn't exist before 2020. And it really came from an idea, and it came from a donation, and it came from the need of having a place where we can take our children. And so if we don't do anything at all, and we all sit back and get a little complacent and just go about our day to day, if we don't do anything, I don't think that's an option. If we do something and we pay these market rates, which we are doing something now, we have a fantastic board. We have business partners that are helping us take this off the ground. The actual tax base compared to doing nothing increases by $906,000. And for a small community like Blooming Prairie, I think that's fantastic.
Those families of those children, and for the staff that will be part of the family that works at the academy, and for our community and our businesses, and for Blooming Prairie, the rewards that are going to be available are just remarkable. And so I'm excited to be a part of this project. I'm honored to be a part of this project. And as we get closer and closer to completion and an opening date, there's just so much excitement looking forward to that and what this is going to bring on so many different levels to this community.
You know, it's maybe a little dare to dream and a little dare to be different, don't you think, Doug?
Yep.
Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thank you.